This is me on my favorite river cot, the Roll-a-Cot by Camp Time. It's just about perfect, but the ground isn't always perfect, right? The ground is sloped a lot, and when that happens, I go find a couple of flat rocks and prop them under the downhill side. But with this do-it-yourself modification that I read about on the Mountain Buzz from a guy with the handle Desert Rat, I'm going to show you how to use a couple of crutches I got at the Goodwill store to make an adjustable Roll-a-Cot. Now you'll need some stainless steel 2.5-inch machine screws, 1/4 inch, some stainless steel washers, and some nylon lock nuts too. These are the tools you'll need. A pair of pliers, a drill with a 1/4 inch drill bit, this hole cutter, a pipe cutter, a Sharpie, and a ruler. I started with a crutch and I drilled out these rivets here, and now it looks like this is what I'm left over with. Okay, I took this and I get rid of it, and this is what I want. I've taken the tip, the rubber tip off, and then I took the legs of the Roll-a-Cot, and I'm going to drill out this rivet right here. And what I'm left with is this vertical piece of the leg assembly, and then the crossbars right there, and you can see how they go together. And I took that end cap off. The first modification that we're going to make is to the foot of the crutch. So you can see here that I've numbered the holes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to have at least 1.5 inches between the bottom of our new cot leg and hole number 1. And I'm going to make a cut between holes 6 and 7, right in the middle there. You can see I've marked it with a Sharpie. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it with a pipe cutter. And then I'm going to get my ruler, and I'm going to measure from the bottom of hole number 1.5 inches. I'm going to mark that. Then I'm going to grab my pipe cutter and I'm going to cut that off. So that should be the end of the modifications to the outer sleeve of the crutch. When I'm done, I should have 1.5 inches from the very bottom to hole number 1. I should have 6 holes, and then another 1/2 inch to the top of the outside of the crutch. Now I've placed the inner sleeve inside the outer sleeve, and I've put the button on hole number 1. And I measured 4 inches from the top of the outer sleeve, and I marked it with a Sharpie. Now I'm cutting with a hole cutter. Now it's time to grab the vertical portion of the cot leg assembly, and you want to measure down 1/2 inch from the bottom of the hole that contained the rivet that you drilled out, and then you're going to cut it off with the pipe cutter. Once you make that cut to the Roll-a-Cot leg, go ahead and take the crutch leg and slide it up inside the cot leg. And you want to make sure the button is on hole number 1 at the very bottom hole, and then you're going to line up the 2 holes, the holes on the crutch assembly with the hole that the pin on the crossbars goes through on the cot leg. So the rivet hole should be perpendicular to the adjustment holes on the crutch leg. And you can see I've taped them up so they won't move around. Then I'm going to drill with a 1/4 inch drill bit all the way through. So now begins the final step, reassembling the legs. So you have the crossbar, and then you have the vertical portion of the leg assembly. You need to attach them. So take the crossbar and take the vertical portion of the leg, and you want it on the same side of the crossbar as the pin that's going to go into the hole at the top of the leg. You can see I've taken a 2.5-inch stainless steel machine screw. I put a stainless steel washer on it and inserted it through the crossbar. Then I put another washer and I inserted it through the vertical portion of the leg assembly, and then another washer, and finally a lock nut, a nylon lock nut. And then I'm going to take a wrench and put it on the lock nut. I'm going to grab a screwdriver. I'm going to tighten it down till it's tight enough that it can move. I can still move the assembly, but just barely. And then I'm going to repeat. Now here's the finished assembly. At this point I'm going to take the duct tape off, and you can see that it's now adjustable, and there it is. So I don't recommend going into that top hole. It's really wobbly and unstable. So you have five holes, 5 inches of adjustment, and that's in all 4 legs. Then the other thing is that when you take the whole thing apart, and not take it apart, but you get ready to put it in the bag, you can see there's the original one. You can see it's about 4 inches longer than the original unmodified cot leg, but it still fits in the bag. And you know, this is for a wide cot. I don't know if that would be different for other cots, but it still fits in the bag, just barely. I usually have tennis balls on the ends, and it'll still fit with a tennis ball, so there it is. I bought these crutches at several Goodwill stores. Range from 99 cents a pair to $7.99 a pair, so let's just say it averaged about $3 or $4 a pair. The stainless steel hardware, the screws, the washers, etc. cost a few bucks, but so pretty cheap. There on the right you can see there's 0 adjustability on the uphill side of the cot, and then over on the left you can see that I had to adjust it down 3 inches. So you know, pretty sweet. And look at that, voila, a level cot.